Hey, what's going on, crew? I am going to talk about the Dexcom G7 today. So if you don't know what that is, or if it doesn't apply to you, you can just skip this video, go find something else to watch. I live with type 1 diabetes. I wear medical devices. At this moment, I am wearing 4 medical devices on my body, which is kind of insane. But today we're talking about the Dexcom G7. Now, at the time of filming this, it came out yesterday in the United States, which is where I live. Now, it's available in the US. It's been available for, I think, a couple months at this point in other countries. However, there's a reason that I am not going to be upgrading to the Dexcom G7. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you about why I'm not upgrading, what I'm doing instead, and why it might apply to you if you're someone living with type 1 diabetes like myself. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt Vandevecht. As I said, I do live with type 1 diabetes. I'm also a certified master fitness trainer and nutritionist, and I help people to stabilize and predict their blood sugars. Now, in today's video, I'm going to walk through my experience with the Dexcom G6 and then talk about why I'm not going to be getting to the G7. But first, talk about placement. Not everything I do is on label. In fact, some of the things that I do are directly off label, like the placement of the Dexcom G6, as you might have seen on my arm. Now, with this device, I wear an insulin pump as well. As I mentioned, I wear 4 medical devices at this moment. I'm known for experimenting with my blood sugars, with devices, with everything type 1 diabetes. And I relay a lot of that information to my coaching clients that have type 1 diabetes as well. So with the insulin pump that I use, which is the tandem insulin pump at this moment, that insulin pump connects with my Dexcom G6. Now, the primary reason I will not be upgrading to Dexcom G7 as for now is because they do not integrate yet. And I do really like this algorithm, this tool that my insulin pump has called Control IQ. This thing allows the CGM and the insulin pump to communicate and to help me make decisions. Now, I've got an entire video on why that's not the magic fix that everybody thinks it is. Yes, it helps you make decisions. It doesn't make the decisions for you. It doesn't remove you from the equation. You do still have to manage your diabetes. However, this communication is still an integral part of my diabetes management strategy. And as such, I don't want to upgrade to a device that doesn't communicate with my pump. I'm going to wait until they come out with a version or an update for that software that allows the two to communicate so the Dexcom G7 can be utilized to its fullest potential with my insulin pump. And this might apply to you if you're on the tandem Control IQ algorithm or the tandem insulin pump. It also might apply to you if you're wearing an Omnipod insulin pump, if you're wearing any insulin pump that connects with Dexcom, really, and Omnipod 5, the Dash system. If you look at the smart insulin pens that connect with the Dexcom G6, a lot of these integrations are not yet ready for the Dexcom G7. Now, they are working towards that, and that's why I want to add a bit of a caveat here. It's not that I'm never going to get the Dexcom G7. It's that I'm not getting it yet. And so there's a big distinction there that when they do connect, when it does integrate with further pieces of technology, I will likely be upgrading and very excited about it. The Dexcom G7, in fact, I can link up a video in the description to another video I did, why it's so fantastic. And I am excited about it. This isn't a video bashing Dexcom by any means. I think it's a great product, and I'm excited to try it out when I do eventually transition over to that. But I want you to be aware that any upgrades with systems, softwares, they don't always integrate right away. The primary example of that is with the Dexcom G6. There's actually a moment in time where I got this brand new phone a couple of years ago, and when I first bought it, I wanted to make sure it was able to read my Dexcom G6 readings. So in the store, I had them download the Dexcom app onto this phone, saw that it worked, and said, okay, I'll buy the phone. I took it home. I logged into my account to get the blood sugars to show up on my phone. Wouldn't work. This device is not supported. It's like, gosh dang it. I threw the phone across the room. It's like, what the heck? It downloaded it. It worked in the store. Turns out it did not support that device yet. It was available in the App Store, but that was it. And so anyways, I had to carry 2 phones around. My old phone that was used just for Dexcom, and then this new phone for calling people and social media, all that fun stuff. So this video is more of a warning or a cautionary tale of checking which integrations are available, checking what's going to happen if I do upgrade my system. So for me, getting a brand new phone, I now know I need to take into consideration the checklist of which phones are going to work with these devices, right? Which integrations with my insulin pump or future pumps or pens that I'm considering are going to integrate seamlessly with these devices. When you're taking those into consideration, you're able to make a more well-informed decision, right? So the Dexcom G7, I haven't checked that on my phone yet, but that is on my list. I got to make sure that the new app that they're using is going to work on my phone as well. And something, a little bonus tip for you guys. If you ever have an option to upgrade the software on your phone, it'll say, hey, software update available. I highly recommend against hitting yes, update now on that first notification that you get, because oftentimes these CGM companies or insulin pumps, now that those connect to our phones as well, different diabetes devices, they have to work with the new updates on these phones to make sure it works and get all the bugs out. So I have run into this in the past where I have upgraded my phone's software and then my Dexcom stops working for a couple of days while the team has to refigure things out with the new software update. So instead, I do delay all of the software updates for at least a couple of days. Honestly, in most cases, the software updates on our phones are not critical. And so it doesn't matter too much. You might get a fancy new look on your phone, but I don't care about how it looks. I'd rather have the functionality of the diabetes devices that I wear, right? So a couple different pieces to this video. I'm not getting the G7 just yet. And it's not because I don't want it. I think it's going to be fantastic. It's just that I don't want to lose the option for the device to connect with my insulin pump. Right? That's a big deal to me to have access to that. So instead, I'm going to wait until I get access to that or until their integration is ready to go. And I will be notified by my insulin pump company, as you should as well. Check on that for your other devices. This also applies to any other apps that you use that read the Dexcom readings, that integrate with that. You got to make sure that those devices are going to pair with the Dexcom G7. It might take a couple of months. I believe I read some reports 3 to 6 months for a lot of these other devices to catch up. So be ready for that. Yes, it's an exciting, flashy new diabetes device that so many of us are going to be clawing for. But for me, I'm going to be delaying that gratification of the upgrade to the Dexcom G7 so that I can have full confidence in the integrations with my existing diabetes technology and also with my cell phone as well. Now, if you're at a place where you don't care if it integrates, maybe you're on MDI, multiple daily injections, you're already excited about the G7, you're going to get it. Great, more power to you. What I'd like to do is walk through a quick screen share of a process on how you can get started with the Dexcom G7. Now, this is not sponsored by them. I'm not sponsored by them. This is just me sharing information as I do on this channel. This is an email that I got from Dexcom in order to upgrade. So I'm going to share my screen in just a second, and we'll jump into that process. All right, crew. So in this email, as you can see, I got it 1 day ago. This is February 18th for me. They launched it yesterday in the US, and it is finally available in the US. All right. So this system, obviously this email walks through all the pros, so the great things that you can get. You can upgrade it so easy. Here's the program. You see all the promotions, right? But we're going to go ahead and click on Discover Dexcom CGM so I can get you guys the link that you'll need to jump into this. So available starting February 17th. Whoop, it just appeared. There you go. So it's a day after that. It's available. This I don't know who this guy is. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I know who he is. We're going to go ahead and click on Get Started. There's a bunch of different buttons that you click. They're everywhere. There's all the benefits. Get started today. So when we're getting started with this, it's going to ask you a couple different questions, personal information and diabetes information. So are you a current Dexcom CGM user? I'm going to click yes. It's intended for patients who aren't currently using Dexcom. So click here, right? That's good to know. All right, upgrading to Dexcom G7 is simple if you use the G6. So now I'm going to get you this link. As you can see here, we've got dexcom.com/en-us/G7/magic #G7 upgrade. So you can type that in, or you can just click the link in the description. Now we're going to go ahead and look at this, upgrading for those who get Dexcom G7 at a pharmacy, upgrading for those who get it through a distributor. So I'm going to show you the two differences real quick. Through a pharmacy, you can use this page, read through it, current Dexcom G6 users, and that gives you some instructions. So, second one right here is you'll have to get your supplies from a distributor. So if you're doing that, it's going to tell you to reach out to them to get your G7. There you go. Whoops. Perfect. Reach out to them to get started. So in this case, I would reach out to my distributor. I would start personally by talking to my endocrinologist, And from there, I'm likely to get a recommendation to talk to the distributor from my local area in California. However, I'd love to note this. They did add this on, which is what my video is about. If you currently use Dexcom G6 with a connected insulin pump, which I do, we recommend continuing on it until Dexcom G7 adds compatibility with your insulin pump or pen. We are working with our insulin delivery partners to integrate with Dexcom G7 as soon as possible. Now I'm going to pull up a different screen for you guys real quick. As you can see down here, Tandem has previously communicated that our goal is to launch our integrated offerings with 1 to 2 quarters, 3 to 6 months of Dexcom G7 receiving FDA clearance. We provide updates on the t:slim X2 pump and sensor integration. You can click learn more, and there's a section on their website where you can go and add yourself to their update list so that they'll update you when it is ready. So ultimately, it's happening. They're going to connect. It's not ready yet. Even Dexcom recommends you wait, just as I do, until that integration is ready. And I hope this has been helpful for you. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. Again, my name is Matt Vandevecht. I live with type 1 diabetes, and I am a certified master fitness trainer and nutritionist. I coach other type 1s on how to find their blood sugar formula. And if you're somebody who is using these devices, but maybe doesn't recognize how to fully utilize them to benefit your blood sugars, or maybe you've got some mysterious fluctuations here with the highs after meals or lows during exercise, and you just can't quite find your formula for controlling your blood sugars, there's a training that we have for you that's going to help you to identify these patterns, but also to learn a few new strategies, some updated methods for managing diabetes, and show you how I maintain 90 to 95% time in range and have been doing so for the last 3+ years while mountain biking, raising my daughter, going on dates with my wife, having great food with an Italian family, all that fun stuff, and 90% or higher time in range for years. I'm going to show you how I do that. There's a training that I go over at diabetesinaction.com. Go over there. It's a free training. You'll just register with your email. You'll get access to it, take some notes, and it's going to help you to utilize the Dexcom G6 or G7, whichever one you end up with, to its fullest potential so that you can have your best life with type 1 diabetes. All right, so diabetesinaction.com. Go check out that free training. I know you're going to love it. And whichever direction you go with Dexcom, I'm sure it's going to be a great device. And I look forward to eventually upgrading to that system as well. So if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to do that. We put out new videos every single week. I look forward to seeing you in the comments. Have an amazing day and keep up the fight.